A massive tornado touched down just a few hours ago. So far, no reports of any injuries or deaths, but the damage has been extensive. A Benton Township bank boarded up tonight after being broken into. Police say someone either shot out or smashed a lobby window at the Chemical Bank branch on Pipestone Road next to Orchards Mall this morning. Then they went into the building and tried to get into the ATM. A Chicago man died this morning in a fiery crash on the Indiana Toll Road. According to Indiana State Police, the crash happened near the on-ramp from I-65 in Gary. Memorial Day weekend is bringing families together for cookouts and other activities, but in Rochester, it's bringing families together to clean up. Thursday's storm left a big mess throughout the city. If you plan to travel through downtown Mishawaka in the coming weeks, be prepared for some street closures there. ABC 57's Jonathan Bailey is live there now. Jonathan, you've been speaking to people at the scene. What have they told you? We have ABC 57 First Warning Neighborhood Weather live team coverage for you tonight at 10. Our crews spent the evening scattered across Michiana, scoping out the areas hit the hardest. But first, let's check in with meteorologist Tyler Seabree. And Tyler, the big question now is that severe threat over? Former Indiana GOP Senator Richard Lugar died today at the age of 87. Lugar died of complications from a neurological disorder. He served for 36 years in the U.S. Senate. Right now, police are investigating a shooting near Pulaski Park in South Bend. It happened on South Walnut Street near the park around 5:30 this evening. Now, back in November when we had early voting on the weekends, we were seeing those lines wrapping all around inside the building. How did today compare? A tanker and two oil barges collided in a Houston shipping channel, leaking thousands of gallons of chemicals into the water. New tonight, a shocking end to the 145th running of the Kentucky Derby. Maximum Security was the first horse to cross the finish line, but was later disqualified, sending Country House to the winner's circle. And the attorneys involved met inside Judge Steve Hostetler's chambers this afternoon for about an hour and a half. They tell me we won't know if the tapes are any closer to being released until September. Well, Brian and Brianne, the claims were short on details from the very start, but before any more could be released, it was busted as a hoax. They hoped to have a victory party here tonight, but instead they celebrated a hard-fought campaign. It's empty here now, but earlier, shortly after the election was called, Jason Critchlow addressed a crowd of his supporters. It's been a busy week in Washington after President Trump renewed a trade war with China, this time with no deal. We'll get ready for some delays on I-94 in Berrien County. Starting tomorrow, MDOT will begin resurfacing 2 more miles of the interstate. Tonight, 4 people are behind bars after what Indianapolis police are calling a jackpot bust. Avengers Endgame has only been in theaters for a couple of days, but it's already breaking some impressive records. The Marvel finale has made more than $644 million worldwide. A Kansas football player was killed in an overnight shooting that also wounded another player who was drafted into the NFL just a few hours earlier. 23-year-old Dwayne Simmons died in that shooting. Well, some of the money that went flying off a truck in Michigan is making its way back to its owner. New tonight, more bills are piling up on one California teacher who is battling breast cancer. She now has to pay for a substitute teacher to fill in while she's on leave. Right now, Akron, Indiana is still reeling from severe storms that hit this evening, which included a massive tornado touching down. Check out these photos that are just coming into the newsroom showing extreme damage in the area between Macy and Akron, which borders the Fulton-Miami County line. Duke Energy still reporting 777 people are without power in that area since the storm tore through. ABC 57's Kylie Walker picks up our live team coverage in Fulton County, where the damage has been extensive. Kylie? Now to an ABC 57 consumer alert. Best Buy is canceling pre-orders for the Samsung foldable phone. According to Best Buy, cancellation notices were sent out through email on Thursday. The smartphone is 4.6 inches that can open to a 7.3-inch tablet. Samsung delayed the April launch after tech reviewers reported problems about the phone breaking very easily. Right now, the company says it's in the works of fixing those problems, but have yet to announce a new release date. I feel like spring has been canceled and we're soon just going to flip a switch and it's going to be 90 and humid.
I mean, I can only hope that we have some 90s in the forecast, but it does look like the May outlook was trending for cooler than normal, so that's exactly what we're getting.
All right, we'll try again in June.
Yeah.
Thanks, Erica. Up next.
This is ABC 57 News at 7.
A Passover celebration at a California synagogue interrupted by gunfire. One person is dead, at least 4 people are injured, and police have 1 man detained. The NRA rallied thousands together in Indianapolis today, but not everyone was a supporter. This group of mothers instead demanding action against gun violence. The April showers are turning back to snow across much of the Midwest. This is a live look at Chicago right now, where the snow has been falling all day long and it's heading our way. Good Saturday evening. I'm Drew Gardner. Just 3 days away from May, and we are talking accumulating snowfall. Let's get right to ABC 57 First Warning neighborhood weather meteorologist Erica Horbatine, who's tracking it all tonight. Erica?
Coming up in 10 minutes.
Well, the weather has been making a mess of air travel. More than 700 flights have been canceled between Chicago's O'Hare and Midway airports. Here at South Bend International, 2 arriving flights from Chicago tonight have been canceled, as well as 2 departing flights. 7 total flights have been canceled since the day began. If you have plans to fly this weekend, be sure to check in with your airline before heading to the airport. New tonight, a woman is dead and 3 others are injured after a gunman opened fire in a California synagogue. San Diego County Sheriff's deputies were called late this morning to Congregation Shabbat in Poway, where a Passover celebration was underway. A 19-year-old suspect is said to have fired 10 rounds before leaving the synagogue. According to a witness, one of the injured is the congregation's rabbi. The sheriff's department says 1 man was detained for questioning. The NRA convention in Indianapolis brought in thousands of gun rights supporters, but those weren't the only visitors to the convention. ABC 57's Jonathan Bailey joins us live in studio with some of the criticisms at this year's convention. Jonathan? NRA President Oliver North announced his resignation today at that conference. The NRA is scheduled to choose a new president tomorrow, but North is not up for re-election. This comes a day after the Wall Street Journal reported North had allegedly attempted to extort NRA CEO Wayne LaPierre. North wrote in a letter read at the organization's convention he had hoped to be nominated for a 2nd term, but decided to resign when he learned that would not happen. New developments tonight in the deadly freeway crash in Denver involving 28 vehicles that left 4 people dead. Today, the truck driver who went barreling into a line of cars stuck in traffic made his first court appearance. His family telling reporters he says his brakes failed. ABC's Natalie Brunell is in Los Angeles with more.
Natalie Brunell, ABC News, Los Angeles.
New details now on the investigation into the Sri Lanka bombings. Police raided a warehouse full of explosives and bomb-making materials. They also found ISIS flags and uniforms. Evidence there led police to a 2nd location in Kalmunai. When they approached the home, they were met by gunfire and 3 explosions. 15 people were found dead inside, including 6 suspected terrorists and 6 children. South Bend Mayor and Democratic presidential candidate Pete Buttigieg promises to return all money donated from lobbyists after facing backlash from some Democrats. His campaign released a statement saying, quote, "Mayor Pete will not be influenced by special interest money, and we understand that making this promise is an important part of that commitment." The campaign initially accepted more than $30,000 from 39 lobbyists. Coming up, a truck made it rain on one Michigan highway, spilling tens of thousands of dollars onto the roadway. Now police are making a plea to the community to get it back.